I'm gonna get stuff going here.
So introducing these two players, Shep versus LazyBear. Shep has an invested interest of getting to the finals. Now he knows Turnip Boy is there because week 1 of the SCL Challenger Swiss division, Shep played against Turnip Boy and lost to Turnip Boy 7-5. It was so close. I'm sorry, won. He actually won against Turnip Boy 7-5. And since then, Shep and Turnip Boy have kind of generated a bit of a friendship. They constantly play against each other, constantly scrim against each other, share tech, all that kind of stuff that comes from the fact that you know that you're both pretty good at this game and you've already played each other, which means you don't have to worry about the Swiss rule. And so if you're Shep, you've seen your friend here in the competitive league make it to the finals. Now you want to join them so you can get that friendly rematch. However, his opponent, LazyBear, is about as scary as it gets. Joined in week 3 of the league, and since then has only dropped 2 of his 11 games. And in the Summer Cup as well, was tearing through his division. In fact, played in a division with Yeesh and tied against Yeesh 4-4, which is not a small feat.
Definitely
And
not.
so LazyBear is scary. And so this is a matchup where anything can happen. And LazyBear is not going to make it easy.
Yep. Anyway, we'll see if Shep can make it happen here. Shep was the higher seed, so has the right to choose or pick order and spy sniper order, and his choice was to pick first and snipe first.
I feel like I can predict the draft between these two players.
You think so?
We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
All right. So Shep is the first banner. What is your prediction for this one?
He's gonna ban Ballroom.
Banned Gallery.
Okay, so Gallery is the second map that Shep bans. The reason he's banned Gallery instead of Ballroom is because no one bans Ballroom more than LazyBear. And so if Shep's done his research, then he's hoping LazyBear.
There's no reason to ban Ballroom if it's not.
However, I do not believe that LazyBear will ban it because since the Summer Cup, he's been forced to play it a ridiculous amount, and I think he's got good at it. So if I was LazyBear, I personally would ban Balcony.
And if LazyBear was LazyBear would also ban Balcony. That's what LazyBear did.
And that makes sense as well because Shep picks Balcony about half the time in SEL4 as well. So you've kind of made up for your weakness in a map. You've picked a map that your opponent bans a lot, and you've banned a map that he picks a lot.
It makes sense, especially in this format where even the maps where you don't get picked that often will probably get picked. So yep, if you don't like Balcony, you better ban it. And anyway, on to the actual picks here. First pick out of Shep will be a doubled map is Pub. Get to see more Pub. Woo!
Pub is as we said, that Turnip Boy makes Pub his home ground. Well, that kind of stems from the fact that Shep also likes Pub, and they play at a ridiculous amount versus each other.
Okay, I guess that's it's a map. It exists. It's fun. It's totally fine.
There is indeed a serious bias in the older community about Pub. Like it's funny to see because the newer players don't have that, and they just treat it like a normal map. But for a long time, Pub was kind of bad.
Yeah, I think 100% of my bans last season were dedicated to Pub. Like last season
I assume that you had the 3 of 5, didn't you? Played 3 of 5.
Yeah, it was 3 of 5 and 4 of 7. It was 2.
You had both?
Yeah. Last season, pretty much every map last season had 2 choices. I think pretty much every map.
Oh,
yes. Even Balcony had pick and any.
So, how does that work? Does the spy get to choose which variant they want to play, or does the person who picked the map choose what variant you'll be playing that series?
The person who picked the map chooses the variant.
Yeah,
and you can only pick one. You can only pick one variant for any of the maps that have duplicates. So yeah, and iRise was the same thing. iRise had 3 of 5 and 4 of 7.
Right. Well, I think especially for the Challenger division, most of these part of the Steam early access generation of players. And I can confirm that every challenger player I've talked to has basically not touched 3 or 5 pub since coming to the game. They've always played 4 of 7, 16 guest, which is much easier as a sniper, much less RNG, more about creative spy play than it is about AI's finishing.
Yep.
So I think that the newer generation of players have no bias towards pub being
makes sense.
an unfriendly map.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I only ban it just out of tradition. Just it's the map that I ban, so that's what I ban. I mean, even though I feel like there's not much chance that anybody in Platinum was going to pick it. But anyway,
Yeah, no.
we'll go on to the next map here. The first pick out of LazyBear. We'll get to see more doubled library. Woo! There's a map I like to pick, and everybody else likes to pick it. Everybody else likes to pick it too. It was, I think, one of the top picked maps. Maybe like the third. It was in like third place, I think.
And it's doubled all the time too. It's doubled so high.
Yeah, when it's picked, it's very often doubled.
When you consider the way this draft has gone, Shep has kind of tried to counter the banning stage by banning the gallery, hoping for that ballroom pick. Ballroom ban, but it doesn't come through. Picks his home ground map in pub, but unfortunately for Shep, LazyBear is actually really good at pub, and in fact has better stats on it. And now LazyBear gets to pick one of his best sniper maps in library, also featuring a 100% success rate as sniper, which is above Shep's 66%. So 66% really good, 100% scary.
Yep, that is. Can't get much better than that. In fact, you can't. The next pick from Shep looks like it's one of those picks where you can't pick balcony, you pick high rise. And what Shep did.
Yeah, no, it's really going towards those soft tail variants and high rise. I mean, not often do you have a 88.89% win rate on anything, but even less likely you have it as spy. Shep knows how to play this map.
Nice. All right.
Is there stats right now on whether or not it's wrong shots or mission completions?
It's a bit of both. It's a lot of long shots. About 66% would be civilian shots, civilian shots, and then 44% is mission completions.
That's excellent to hear, because that means that there's a bit of space where if a spy is able to convince, basically, they're able to convince the sniper that they're not finishing when they finish, and they're able to convince them that they're finishing when they're not finishing, and that is a great tendency to have on that map.
Yeah, no, really strong.
All right, the next pick coming out of LazyBear. This is not at all a surprise to anybody. Is Courtyard.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't lent into the fact that we're getting better at ballroom due to being forced to play it against really strong competition. So much so that we don't ban the map, and we're not picking it against someone who really likes to ban it. Courtyard, clearly, everyone feels comfortable on it, and it is LazyBear's most played map this season. But Shep also has played it pretty much the same amount, so it feels like it's almost a nothing pick at this stage.
All right. Anyway, the last pick from Shep. Still not interested in picking ballroom, it seems. Going with Modern.
It's a big map.
Yeah, it is a big map.
I mean,
kind of the opposite of pub and high rise.
I feel like when you pick maps like Modern late into the draft, you're just trying your best to go even and hoping that your earlier picks kind of carry you
it's
through.
like, and just trying to not pick Terrace, it seems, also.
Yeah. Which is very funny that you bring that up.
Because that is, in fact, the map that's picked by LazyBear.
Yeah. LazyBear has picked Terrace the most this season, which makes no sense. Before it got changed to introduce the bar and the statues, he was playing it a lot. And then afterwards, he continued picking it and actually is doing really well for it, because not many people play Terrace. Shep has not played it at all this season in competitive play. And LazyBear, well, he's played it to a pretty decent amount of times and has a 70% win rate on it. So this is a really strong map pick coming from LazyBear. I think I would rather see it earlier than Courtyard, and I would rather see the ballroom pick coming out of LazyBear, knowing that he is better at it
there
now.
you go, beginner ballroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, if they get to tiebreaker, I think can technically pick beginner ballroom. In a sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you can. Yep.
Yeah, yep. I think I know what
Wait,
role.
beginner balcony? Is it beginner ballroom or beginner balcony?
I mean, beginner ballroom.
So beginner ballroom is the known for variant. So you could do that, but if I was done that, I think I would choose, if they're gonna cut like that, I'll choose sniper.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
what's really interesting though is finishing on terrace. That would be such an interesting map to end a set on, because of like putting pressure on the shot on terrace and pressure on the spy. That might make terrace interesting. I don't know. So if we get there, that's a really strange way to finish out a set. I'm kind of hoping we do.
Yeah, we'll see.
Ultimately, just looking at like statistics and the head-to-head on all these map picks, LazyBear as well and truly won this draft through everything they've done. Could have won it a little bit harder, but like he says in chat, his hate for ballroom trumps the fact that he knew it was a smart pick and didn't go for it, just blinded by the red rage in his eyes. But ultimately, the maps picked by Shep, LazyBear has really performed well on, potentially even better than Shep has over. And really, High Rise is the only map that Shep has done outstanding on. As both sniper and spy, 75% win rate sniper, 89% win rate spy. Like that's the map. If Shep is going to win this series, it will be off that map alone.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get into it now. We got LazyBear as the first spy. Sam in danger here. Looking longingly at Toby. Very much interested in a early purloin, possibly. We'll see if LazyBear will give in to Salmon's wishes here. Let's find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, I'm gonna request a rewind there because I was on 4 times speed and the game was already over.
Oh, no. Okay. That might be spoilers there.
No, it wasn't a spoiler. No, I'm joking.
All right.
Just
okay.
Insinuating it's too fast.
Yep. All right. Anyway, we'll try this again. And 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely didn't see this, but we do path past the ambassador here in a very loving way, but no bug comes through. It was AI controlled all the way. And LazyBear now a very quick leave from the window pad to try and catch orange dress, potentially, or even bug the ambassador as he walks past. A great position to find it, but the ambassador is unwilling to come our way.
It looks like I can't tell what Twin that is, but Twin blocks us, or blocks the ambassador from coming over that way. It looked like ambassador had intended to swing by us, in which we would have been able to get that reverse bug, but unfortunately, our plans were thwarted.
Do pick up this flirt though from the bar. Potentially, if you are Shep, you're looking over towards the 3 people over there and thinking they could all be lovers. Teal was the closest though to Salmon. At this point, we'll have to see how that does play into the sniper's information game. We've got the drink here. I don't believe we chose the delegate option oh no, we did. Of course we did. Now we're going to look to pick up our second flirt onto orange dress.
And right now, I believe both statues have a fingerprint on them, and hopefully we're paying attention to that as LazyBear, because that's going to present an excellent frame opportunity. So right now, Duke, for example, has a fingerprint and the automatic inspect completion. So if we're watching that, if Duke just happens to pick up briefcase later, we have a really strong play at framing them. Unfortunately, DA picks up the other fingerprint smudged. Oh my goodness, there it is.
Yeah, difficult fingerprint on this briefcase here. It's going to definitely be playing on Shep's mind. And if LazyBear, which it looks like he is, he's staring down Duke, is keeping a track of all of this, then if you're going to purloin delegate to anyone, it has to be Duke.
And Duke might even pick up a drink here. Let's see where Duke's... Oh, is Duke going... Oh, we blocked him. Oh, no. That would have been... that would have been kind of weird, because that would have been Duke being so suspicious that's not suspicious, perhaps.
Yeah.
But we do block it from would have been an interesting situation. The other unfortunate thing though is, let's say Duke had gone to that statue, we could have swapped framed if we went to bar, for example. But
this is unfortunate. We don't actually pick up the fingerprint whilst at the statue.
yes,
Was it
but we do
smudged?
get the
Difficult?
suspicion
It
for
was
it.
it was a
anyways.
difficult
It was
fingerprint.
It was
and it
difficult,
failed.
yeah. Yeah,
Seek,
so a
Seek had
failed
picked it up
attempt.
before.
Yeah, so that's a bit unfortunate, but we still have this drink in hand. We can still delegate over to Duke if we have been watching how suspicious he's been this entire game. Duke, by the way, sitting on 2 mission completions in the inspect and the fingerprint, and a well-timed contact as well as a purloin would reach that 4 that the sniper needs. Looks like LazyBear was just idling for a little bit. We get a nice opening in this conversation across from our seduction target, but we're running out of time here. Really do need to find some progress. Flirt will not get us to 100%. It's going to be 91% instead. Looks like we make contact and then delegate, but I think this might even run out, even if we do send someone to the bar. And LazyBear is actually just going to get shot, of all things.
Yeah, I think the suspicion from the statue, the fingerprintable statue, maybe we credit with. Also, it looks like Twin is cupping Smallman's head. Anyway,
Yeah. Avert
it
your
looks like
eyes. Maybe Twin thinks
Yeah.
Smallman's just a kid.
don't look right. Anyway, so
there's 2 hardtails potentially that Shep could have picked up here. One is that LazyBear does not do an insta-sip when he rides at statues. There's about a second pause actually, and I know Shep definitely worked on his etiquette play to go against me, and so if he's learning different stuff like that, maybe he's also incorporating it into his sniper play. But also that early game, you have to remember the really awkward path around the ambassador. We may not have highlight for it, but we definitely saw it and potentially given the bug possibility to Salmon as well.
That's true. And when we eliminated the other top suspect, I mean, we kind of had to. I understand why we had to contact there. When we eliminated Duke from the equation, we were probably the next biggest suspect because we were the only other person that had picked up the fingerprintable statue.
Yeah, no, that's really rough for LazyBear. It's a shot that seems kind of early based on mission progress, but when you track the game in the sniper's point of view, then there's definitely reasons to be shooting there. And Shep, with the correct shot, will go up 1-0.
Yep. And first appearance of General as spy here. Really is anything. I don't think he's been in any sort of cast in the last set. So we'll see him show off his incredible moves, his great statue blocking ability. He has a pretty good bug. We'll see how those go in 3, 2, 1, planet.
He's the rook. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong in your spy.
He is indeed. Made sense to me.
Really crowded doorway. That's one of the best kerfuffles I've seen in the doorway going into pub. Unfortunately, we can't take advantage of it, but it doesn't look like anybody gets any suspicion off of it. But I love a good logging at the beginning of pub maps.
Yeah, and Shep actually chose to stay on AI control throughout that as well because he wanted to path about as correctly as an AI would. And so it's a pretty wise decision if you're not wanting the bug to allow the AI to do the moving for you. Oh, wow, look at that. Kane just walked the most ambiguous path past the ambassador there. Now, it also has a statue inspect as well, so it could be trouble for LazyBear if he thought the bug happened.
Yeah, looks like we're going for the timer flirt, which is a lot of time to burn on pub, but right now we're kind of committed to it. Maybe we pop over for a double agent afterwards. Hopefully we're taking note of who's visiting statues. Queen's going to be picking up a highlight. Taft is going to be picking up a possible delegate. Where's Ambassador is going to be dropping a fingerprint on that front statue. We should definitely be paying attention who goes there.
Yeah, or we go there, one of the two. Shep kind of leaving here to go towards bar. Going to request a drink from Toby. And then what do we do with it is the question. We will actually just reject it. Really looking to try and be as AI-like as possible. I love going into the briefcase immediately after. It's a difficult fingerprint. The sniper has seen that. We hit the green test. Shep with the progress starting to tick up, now looking to return the briefcase to the ambassador. Get caught in a bit of a pile-up, spinning around, but our mission is to return the briefcase, and we will do so. Now we're going to wait it out and hope no one smudges that print over towards the statue. Double Agent joins us. We saw her coming. Look for the contact. Oh no, Buns has joined herself at the statue. We'll smudge it. And there's actually quite a lot of people out of conversation. And the suspected double agent is out of conversation as well. So Shep may not know this.
Banana
It
bread.
seems like a great time to banana bread and does become a little bit better. 3, 4 people have real contacts here. Shep is one of them.
And Ambassador does drop a fingerprint on the back statue, fortunately, but we are forced to eliminate quite a few people. There's a lot of lowlights in there. There's an interesting, I think we're about thirds of the map, thirds of the cast about. I guess there's not that many neutralites, but there's significant groups of highlights, significant groups of lowlights, and then a couple of neutralites sprinkled in there. So there's still a lot of room for Shep to go around in. We're probably going to try to finish our flirt and then move over to a fingerprint and then I guess inspect. We might just do that now.
Yeah, I mean, if Shep doesn't get shot for this statue visit, then it's very unlikely that he gets shot for a flirt. Is potentially the forethought here. We actually picked up the briefcase. I love this. This is not too bad.
That's right. That's right.
You this is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of counterintuitive, but now he's going to have to find a hardtail finish or time add. Decides to put it down. A little bit strange of the pathing here. 13 seconds left. We're going to look for the flirt at the window pad. Can we get it is the question. Yeah, he's going to check his watch. Now we need to find our last mission completion, or we add time. White test at the window, but LazyBear is watching and will take the shot.
Yeah, we were forced into that play at that point, unfortunately. So if we had ignored the briefcase, it would have been odd, right? I mean, we would have picked up the inspect. I don't know if we had enough time to have flirted there though. So I think we give the best play that we can, basically, without a good bug opportunity on the way over to flirt at least.
Yeah, I don't see what else you could really do in that situation. I mean, at the very least, Ambassador's back is to a wall, so you could at least say, like, maybe, you know, LazyBear might have some question about whether it was just blocked, potentially. I mean, it didn't seem like it was, but, you know.
Right. In my opinion, there was one way you win that, and it is crazy, but you don't join the window pad the seduction target is on. You join the one on the other side. For those who don't know, you can flirt through them.
Yeah.
And then you time add, head quickly into the statue, and hope you're never seen time adding. And one of your lowlights is potentially taken out for that. But there was definitely ways, and I do think it all comes down to how much priority the sniper puts on briefcase play, because Shep could have just picked up the statue and got the fingerprint inspect and then looked for the last second flirt. I don't think LazyBear would have shot for the lack of briefcase return.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's see. We got sniper party so far. Either way, LazyBear going up again as spy. We'll see if he can break this sniper curse. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Picking up Duke here for our spy character.
LazyBear doesn't take though.
Yeah, doesn't seem like it has been seen. At least no highlight coming out yet. But as casters, we are very well aware that highlights aren't always a true representation of what a sniper is thinking.
I mean, sometimes even as a player,
there it is. Really
I can't
late.
remember what my highlights are for. Oh, we do actually pick it up.
So this is one of two things. Either it's a highlight for flirting with General at the bar, or it's a belated highlight for, I think he potentially bugged.
Yeah, it's definitely. At first, I was wondering if he was going to highlight everybody at bar to try to track a possible delegate, but he's the only one that picks up a highlight while at the bar. So it does seem like those are about the only two options, which is really unfortunate for LazyBear, starting off with a handicap, as it were. Without
Thankfully,
any progress.
This is a highlight for flirt, then LazyBear will not be seen near General much this game. However, LazyBear is going to add time. 45 seconds, white test, both the sniper and the spy see it. But the question is, does Shep? LazyBear joins conversation. It's really awkward looking. Kind of just slotting himself between these two lovely ladies. But one of them is the double agent, so we can go for the contact and potentially even go for the purloin as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he thought that Alice was in conversation because she had just been hanging out there for a long time, pondering her options with the briefcase. Um, so I would assume that we're gonna have to just contact at this point, but I think we wanted to flirt.
We did add 45 seconds, so it does mean that we're not too behind the ball. We do pick up the flirt, but we're essentially playing balcony with this flirt here. It's not going to be easy, and we do have to find more mission progress than balcony. We have to find that 4 mission completions.
Well, I don't know if we have time to sit here. Okay, we do leave relatively early. We don't have the option to delegate anymore. We still only have 34% on the flirt, and we have 2
Ooh. I love that reverse drive-by. Just as the ambassador leaves, hides the lean behind him. Because he's moving, you don't see any animation. That's really nice by LazyBear.
Yeah, and it was one of those ones that transitions from standing to walking bug. So, for those that don't know, if you start a standing bug in CC and the ambassador moves, it starts as one of the lean bugs that you have in a conversation circle, but it ends as a walking bug. And that was a request from, I think specifically Very demanded this many times, where you would still be in range of the ambassador when they had left, but because it was the CC check system,
Apparently that was just enough.
Yeah, I mean, I assume the bug was caught is the only thing I can take from that. Is that you saw it.
Because I mean, the very least, I mean, you can't really see much of the bug, but you can see as Slappy was sort of pointed out, you can see the lean that it starts off with. I mean, yeah, it's actually pretty darn visible.
Yeah, no, and for whatever this highlight reason was at the start of the game, whether it was for a potential catch of a bug early, or if it was for okay, well, it's not for the flirt. It has the only thing that highlight is for is that you thought you saw the bug early, and so you've been tunneling in on this character.
I don't know if you could see that bug. I could not.
At the start of the game?
Yeah, I cannot see.
Yeah, you can see it 100% easily. You just need to get good, Cletos, is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, you're right. If you pause. But I mean, it looks a lot like at speed. It just looks a lot like his hand normally waving.
But that's the only thing that makes sense for a highlight there, because you're not in range for a flirt. So the highlight, belated as it is, must come from a suspicion that a highlight occurred, and if that's the case, a suspicion that a bug occurred.
Like if you look, I mean, the 2 people that get highlight there were General and LazyBear, but
accidental highlight on General.
Okay, possible.
Yeah, because he immediately removes it.
I guess I'm the only weirdo person that's weird enough to keep accidental highlights.
Yeah, oh, Very does that shit too. It drives me crazy because he keeps accidental highlights on me as spy and wins, and then taunts me. It's shitty.
It's great. It's a great way to get wins.
It's a great way to lose friends.
Yeah,
right,
I mean, I keep lowlights, accidental lowlights too, so it's balanced.
I mean, I do that as well. Against Nemphlis in my Summer Cup match earlier, I loaded him right at the start of the series because he was standing next to an SDA, and I thought he was the SDA.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty rip, but you know, it happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
You accidentally highlight, sometimes you accidentally lowlight, and sometimes they stick.
Yep. Well, I mean, I keep him stuck on purpose. But anyway, here we go. We'll see if Sheph can pull ahead here. Oh wait, no, Sheph is already ahead. But
yes,
pull ahead as in like, you know, break serve. I guess you could say. Yeah. All right, we'll see if that can happen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Here's that rocker again. She's features a lot here, and this is actually Sheph's first time playing rocker. Just fun fact: Sheph claims he randoms his character, and so I believe him. He's got enough variance across characters to justify that claim. Do we find the bug is the question? Nope, just the flirt. It was going the whole time, and we actually pick up a highlight for our positioning, which means LazyBear thought the potential for a bug was there.
And it does appear like at least random's cast because we have Bling Twin as ambassador and normal twin or plain twin as a just regular guest. When usually, if you can help it, you keep both of those in the pool to try to add to that little bit of confusion.
The only time I don't is when I'm a spy.
Right.
Just kidding. I don't do much stuff like that at all. Don't shoot me. Buns on the other side of the conversation here, and we flirt for 60%. LazyBear will do behavioral lowlights. For example, Buns has been no lit because she stood very close to the ambassador and didn't bug, and LazyBear saw that. She had such a good opportunity to do so. Plus, she didn't really do anything at that window pad. So there's a behavioral lowlight there onto Buns if you're wondering how they work with some snipers. But LazyBear has been highlit, probably due to similar things. Joins the conversation at the window pad in an area where bugs are very easy to catch. Plus, you might be flirting with Buns, and I mean, Shep is very much flirting with Buns. LazyBear will be on top of that, and we're forced into a situation we have to do a 4th flirt as well, which is not kind against snipers who have behaviouristic traits.
I don't know what's happening in these pub games. I never have this in pub games, but ambassadors in the pub games we've seen today have visited the statues a ridiculous amount of times. There's been a front print and a back print in this map. Wheels picks up the front statue print, and it looks like Irish is picking up the possible difficult on the print, and the back statue still has a print available on it. There's been so many prints available for pub, which is one of the harder maps to finish fingerprint on, not through briefcase.
Well, we are going to pick up a print of our own, I believe, on this drink. If I am correct. Yep, there it is. First print done. Delegate option. We bounce around with the ambassador, but not actually bugging. And now Shep standing pretty fast space between red dress and orange dress here. We'll look to potentially purloin the guest list by delegating to one of them. We'll just have to see which one it is. We're currently no talking, which is fine when you're sipping a drink, but not afterwards. Only 3 people in that conversation, and one of them is confirmed AI. If LazyBear is looking for things like this, then the party can be reduced down to 2. There's the delegate option onto orange dress. We're actually following her into the bar in a way, or leading the charge, you could say. Looking for this fingerprint on the statue. This inspect plus fingerprint plus delegate all at once. 3 missions could be completed. It's a difficult print. It all requires that. Inspect done. Purloin done. Can we hit the difficult? No, we can't, but it doesn't matter. LazyBear is on top of it, and we'll find the shot.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, I think, yeah, if LazyBear was paying attention to that purloin, which probably was, it was, it was basically a 50-50 shot, but, given that spies are way more likely to delegate than direct purloin, it's really kind of more than 50% chance that it's rocker.
I mean, and also if you're watching Orange Dress that game, she first action is to go to statues, and then she stands in that conversation the entire of the game. So she is not commission completing whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if you are picking up on behavioralistic stuff as LazyBear, you've seen Rocker chase Buns around the map 4 times to find flirts.
Yep.
And I
find it kind of interesting that there were plenty of opportunities to get pretty good contacts, and they were just it was just not even considered by Shep, from what I can see. I don't know. That's just not something you do on pub. I don't know. I don't play pub enough to know, but it's a mission you could do.
Yeah, it's true. So we are tied up, correct?
Yes, it is all tied up 2-2. Lots of sniper partying going on here. So we'll see if LazyBear can pull anybody ahead. This is, if you're gonna get spy wins, this is definitely a map where it happens an awful lot. We'll see if LazyBear can do this here. As TL, you're both ready?
Yes, sir.
Ready?
Awesome.
I am.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're playing at 4 times speed, right?
Yep.
Yes, 4 times speed. Yep. Man, my hatred for Teal is heavy, slappy. I love to get my bugs. Teal's bug animation is so bad, but surprisingly, Teal, one of these picks that both LazyBear and Shep lean into. Clearly, there's something going on with this character that I haven't found out.
Just so innocuous, just someone who accidentally ended up at the party, They're trying to make it to their kid's baseball game or something, and it's like, I can't be the spy.
Well, LazyBear is the spy, and he just transfers the microfilm, takes the piece of film out of the book. Behind that pillar there, Shep doesn't see the action, but does see Till leave the post, which might be just enough that you start looking towards that second book visit if LazyBear, or I say when LazyBear returns this book to Green Bookshelf.
Yeah, no, let's see. So it would be lovely if we could pick up a fingerprint on the next one, because one of the problems with microfilm on this map is it takes up a lot of time if you don't do it at the bookcase, because that means if you do both actions outside of the bookcase, you visit shelf, take book away from shelf, do the action test, go back to shelf, go to another shelf, take book out, go to some place where you take it out, then return it to shelf, all for one single mission. So that's my only issue with it, is if you're going to go this route, you really have to be pacing on the rest of your game.
And that's exactly what LazyBear does. He, before returning the book, picks up his first flirt onto his seduction target, meaning that when he's returned the book, he can then rejoin the conversation with the seduction target and pick up your second flirt. Unfortunately for us, whilst we are contacting, the seduction target leaves the conversation, but we are continuing this progress. Unfortunately, though, it's a white test purloin, and Shep was staring it down, meaning that we're going to get shot to the head.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was unfortunate.
If there's a green test right there, let's just say, we had basically seduce done, we could probably get the microfilm done with enough time. We had contact done, we probably do a middle statue visit for the win.
And yep. I'm not a fan of that decision to purloin. The
nope.
timing is off. There's no reason to purloin at that stage when you've already picked yourself up the microfilm. You're only reducing things for the sniper to look at, which you definitely don't want them looking at your microfilm animation.
And especially like fairly soon after BB, purloin is one of those things that that you look for pretty soon after BB, because it's just such a common combo these days.
And whilst LazyBear's path into the conversation circle is AI-like in the sense that AIs will do it, it just doesn't look very nice. And any sniper on library is going to just look at things like that and go, that's weird. I should watch this character a little bit closer. The contact happens after they join the conversation. It's a white test. They're talking through it. And so once you see that Toby request come through, you're like, well, maybe they purloin as well. And that's exactly what happens.
Yep. All right, well, either way, good heads up from Shep. Once again, has an opportunity to break serve. Let's see if that will happen here. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, even those pretty standard sniper wins, you have to do it. You eat your vegetables, you catch your white purloins. You have to actually make sure you have the fundamentals down.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it does come down to being able to catch them. And that is LazyBear, unfortunately, losing that spike a chance. Shep goes to books early, returns the book early as well. Also breaks an animation, but it's not the kind of thing that LazyBear watches for. The book animation etiquette, really a niche in this game. Shep, though, will pick up a very early highlight for a statue inspect here. Middle statues, but we've got an AI next to us, meaning that we might not be able to get all three. We're going to attempt it, though, and it does come through just in time for that second animation finish.
And I'm curious where we go from here, because it's a little bit easier to track progress across the map with it. So, for example, going from middle statue into bookcase, if you're going to try to direct transfer, it's going to be a bit tricky. Oh, a ton of lowlights coming off. What is going on?
I don't know.
Is this behavioralist, or we imagine a swap, perhaps?
Potentially it's a purloin swap. Or a purloin, an imagined time ad. It's definitely, you wouldn't think an imagined purloin, but I've seen it happen before. LazyBear is a behavioralist though, so potentially he's studied the replays from Shep and goes, he always does this at the start of a library game, and anyone who hasn't done that has received a low light.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's statue visits, because the remaining highlights, I know that Salmon Danger was at middle statue on the other side, so perhaps it was a behavioralist of they visit statues in the first minute every single game or something like that, right? And whatever it is, Shep is in a bad position because we're one of only a very few amount of highlights And there's not, I think there's only like 1 or 2 lowlights in the map still. Oh, and we pick up that extra lowlight and small one. He's so unnoticeable, we can't even remember to lowlight him in the party. And so we still
Now
have
1 of 5.
Yes.
Not even that, 1 of 4. It's General's a highlight. LazyBear highlights the ambassador. So 25% chance that we get out of this game alive if Shep, and there's no way he knows that LazyBear has got him on the hook like this. In the exact same position that we just caught a white pearl in, this time we won't go for it. Leaving the conversation. 1:30 left on the clock, and we have 2 mission progress. Shep is desperately running out of time.
Yeah, this is going to be rough because we haven't done any really impressive mission yet. We are going to add time, and we'll see what the laser rotation does right now. We don't seem to be looking around the map right now. We're keeping the missions in sight, so I think that time ad got off completely clean. Now perhaps we'll assign lowlights to the people we know weren't at.
Ooh. Everyone. Literally, no one could have done that time ad out of the highlights coming through from LazyBear. So it seems strange that this is the case. Really unfortunate. He had both Twin and Buns on his screen, so it definitely could have been them. But unfortunately, the lowlights are going the wrong direction. Shep, 3rd visit to book, 2nd to blue bookshelf, low lit as well. The action test microfilm started up. The swing comes over as the held tilt is there. LazyBear will look at animations of lowlights, and look at that, straight up to a highlight. We're back on track.
Yeah, I was gonna say right now I knew that there must be something going on because Shep had gone to the bookcase, and LazyBear had bothered to color the book, meaning that they did not. This is not a true suspicion lowlight. There was something that they're actually tracking with the lowlights, and we are gonna go right to another bookcase. I'm assuming we're baiting out a microfilm animation here. I can't imagine us not doing it.
4th book visit for Shep, you know. Maybe at that point it's less suspicious, but watching LazyBear's sniper, he's keeping every one of his highlights on screen at all times. Shep, 36 seconds left, has 2 mission progress, stepping into a conversation with a suspected double agent. It feels like we know we're not in a good spot here. Shep cannot directly transfer. He does have to take the book over to somewhere else, attempts the bug, but doesn't connect, and that's a very easy shot for LazyBear, who's going to equalize the series.
Yeah, we were forced into something like that because we couldn't take drink. So if we've been anticipating the ability to do a purloin into something there, we can't because we had book in hand. Bug was the only way we were going to get a quick little mission done, because the unfortunate thing is we had low time, and finishing the transfer means we were going to be forced into visiting bookshelf, doing the action test, putting it back, and we needed another mission beyond that. We were gonna, honestly, even if we had gotten that bug and we returned that book, we needed a time ad there or something.
All right. Anyway, sniper party continues.
It's true.
Yep.
And really, I'm really interested in what the early low lighting.
Yeah, I'm really not sure if it was just a behavioral thing. Possibly. We'll see if it happens again in the next match. Next time LazyBear's up to sniper, that is. And ooh, we're looking right at the ambassador here, or almost a little off to the side. So maybe I'm not sure what that means. But we'll find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, it's going to be LazyBear chasing down Taft here, but as most know, Taft is the fastest character in the game, so you're not going to catch the ambassador. The fact that he goes the opposite direction of you means the bow's not possible. We do step over towards the blue bookshelf here, looking potentially for a very early microfilm animation. The fact that we don't leave book instantly says to me that that may be the case. And look at this, straight back into this corner here, behind the pillar, try and transfer the microfilm. Question is, did Shep watch the replay and see that this happened in this particular spot? I'm going to guess no, because he's not watching for it.
And we had time in the corner as well. And multiple times.
Two.
Yeah, we're really going all in this corner.
I love the play. If you're going to add once, might as well add twice.
It's 3 at bookshelf, but it's not the bad 3 at bookshelf. Though I mean, we are kind of close to suspected double agent.
Yeah, no, that is the one thing that really truly dictates whether 3 at bookshelf is bad or not. And In that instance, it was.
Yeah, we're not seeming to get any suspicion for it. We'll see if we. So right now we've glanced over at Ambassador at Yellow Bookcase, so we might combine our next microfilm visit with a fingerprint, perhaps.
Yeah.
Again, though, we do have a lot of time. Even though we spent a lot of time on just a part of a flirt and transfer, we burnt a bunch of time getting there. We're basically back at the beginning of the game as far as time goes.
Yeah, beginning of the game with microfilm in pocket and 34% flirt, it's not a bad place to be. The one thing that I worry about when spies see the value in taking a fingerprint from a book and microfilming is that that book is hot. If a sniper tracks fingerprint, then you are likely to watch the spy with that book. And so if LazyBear does indeed want to pick up that yellow book to transfer his microfilm into it and pick up the fingerprint at the same time, then he has to do so in a very wise way, in the sense that you might take that book away with you and then do it at a different area, or do it when you return the book after taking it away.
This would be a great opportunity to hop into that yellow microfilm because Irish is there, but she did not actually take the book. She's returning it from before. And so us being seen there would make it look like we didn't just visit it the first time. There's someone else there exonerating us a little bit. But indeed, this should be just a... Wait, is there not a fingerprint on this? Or is he just not... It doesn't say fingerprintable.
It doesn't say fingerprintable. There it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
it's just some things don't say fingerprintable for whatever reason. LazyBear though steps away with the book. This is what we're talking about. Doesn't want to be seen microfilm transferring, but is watching the laser slowly creep over towards this right side of the map. Will Shep then swing over to the left? If he does, then the microfilm will happen. There it is. Immediately, LazyBear takes it. Here comes Shep though, looking back over, but the side of his monitor doesn't quite catch Twin in that spot. So at this point, you've completed microfilm transfer, and it has to be free.
I would assume that that's not caught because he didn't pick up anything, or he didn't get shot for it, so it's definitely not caught for certain. And right now we have what we have. Assuming we do fingerprint, seduce, and contact, we only have one other mission that we really need to get done. That's going to be complicated.
And that mission can be a bug. That mission can be a swap when we inspect our statues. There are so many options on library. The contact does come through. Lots of highlights can be lowered to neutral lights. Let's see how confident Shep is in his ability to do so. Currently, no low lights are being taken, which feels like he may be suspicious of, purloins or bugs more so than low lighting. We're going to pick up our last flirt here. Going to tick that one off the list. 3 missions done. We need one more fingerprint, and then after that we can inspect the statues to complete.
LazyBear spent a lot of time off screen for Sheph as well, because during that contact we were in the position where the pillar was going to be blocking us for the most of the time. We were in the very corner of the map for that fingerprint and that book film, or the book animation. We went into behind the pillar for the time ads. There's just not that much time that was spent here. Are we
okay? So fingerprints on the drink, but LazyBear was just rejecting it, which means he can't actually get a drink offer from Toby legally until 2 AIs get offered after him. So that's it done. You now can request a drink from Toby, and it is a legal drink take, but it doesn't even matter because Smallman will get shot here.
Possibly for the fingerprint.
Possibly, yeah, well, 100%. The first action Smallman did was return the briefcase, so picked up a fingerprint in the first 20 seconds of the game. Then after that, clearly must have done extra stuff because
it's small man.
Correct.
That's almost enough evidence.
Even if you're wrong, you're right.
Yep.
He also visited middle statues, so he has fingerprint done. He then did a second briefcase return, which means that fingerprint from the drink doesn't feel as suspicious as possible, but the contact was real for him. At that point, it just you're against the clock as sniper, and you definitely want to be shooting for things like fingerprint.
Yep, I mean, that was a wise choice. I mean, more or less, that was LazyBear's plan. I mean, it looked like LazyBear was on track to finish there if he was able to pick up that difficult fingerprint, but we'll never truly know.
Nope. But yeah, you're right. The shot timing, because there have been 2 time ads, they're probably not going to finish right. You're probably not going to be able to rely on overtime. They're probably going to try to finish with a good amount of time before the end of the game. And so that's a good shot timing.
Yep.
There's not much to say about that. there was, I guess, except for the fact that Shep didn't seem to be able to manage much of the party. There are so
Yeah.
few lowlights on this map. There's so many highlights that the fact that we never did anything like swap or purloin to be able to eliminate large groups of suspects, and apparently the contact didn't really eliminate that many people either.
Yeah.
It didn't eliminate anyone. He didn't take any lowlights, so it is strange to see that, but it is what it is.
Yep. That might, I mean, that can happen in a case where
Actually,
if you're
I-
like if you're tunneling on somebody, you know.
no. Shep specifically doesn't lowlight very often for contacts. I
Weird.
remember this because when I played him, one of my very successful strategies in Challenger was my banana splits, and I did it against him multiple times during the series, and every time he didn't lowlight anyone during it. So it's just something Shep does. Looks for the the positive information rather than the negative information that comes from contact, like who's potentially in range for a bug or a hardtail, stuff like that.
That makes sense. Although I feel like on bigger maps like this,
Oh
you
yeah,
should
yeah, I
try and take
agree.
that
I think
information when you can. But anyway, that's just
anyone who's on your screen, at least.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, that's just how some people want to play. That's totally cool.
Yep.
And we'll see. I mean, LazyBear got the first. That was the first spy win, and so has a chance to break serve here. We'll see if it can do it in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
I like the way that was phrased too. It's like some people want to play that way. They can. It's cool. It's wrong, but it's game's over. Okay.
Game's over. Yeah.
Now
I wanted to make my joke, and that was the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
All right. So
let's we can watch that entire game again from the sniper's view. Or
Can we do it on
that's what I will
half
do.
speed?
Oh, that was the most visible bug.
Right on screen. And Walt's bug, whilst finally got fixed on the latest update to be less obvious, his arms are so lanky and long.
Yeah.
You really, walking bugs are so difficult as this character.
And to notice.
Oh no way! Is that really? Oh my god! I love this. LazyBear has been trolling us of late with this screenshot of this this open hand. And pretty much everyone is convinced that it's Small Man, but as it turns out, it's Disney.
Yep.
Yeah, it's over. So the additional thing about the long arms is usually when we consider the long arms, we're thinking about the spy in parallel with the sniper, where the arms, the vertical is on your screen where you can see the distance. But really, the problem with long arms more often is it'll stick through the ambassador's model. We had a thin modeled ambassador, and so it was very clear, like it sticks out so far from his body that it's not that it's far out because it's perpendicular to us, sorry, that's parallel to us, but rather that it's sticking through the body so far, and you can just see the arm's extension modeled against the character.
As LazyBear has highlighted once more with the screenshot posted, most characters when they bug do this kind of OK hand, like with the O on their hands, and I actually think that Disney's is the most pronounced out of all characters. So it's there's a lot of reasons why walking bugs as Disney are a no-go.
Yeah, especially when the sniper's laser is right over the ambassador. That's I mean, I know that this is library. The laser can move at any time, but it was like over the ambassador that entire time.
Yeah.
There's no laser lag excuse.
At that point, Shep
there.
is essentially betting on chaos being the one true hiding factor of that bug.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with the ambassador right up against the window like that, you're gonna need a lot of chaos to hide that bug. And
so here we find ourselves on high rise. LazyBear's map pick of library becomes a really nice one for us, 5-3. But I want to remind everyone of the stats that Shep possesses on high rise, because it means two things. Either Shep is going to dominate this map, or if he doesn't, then LazyBear must be pretty good at it as well, because Shep has currently played 8 games of Sniper with a 75% Sniper win rate. Not bad. 9 games as Spy with an 89% win rate as Spy, 44% of those being through mission completions and 56% of those being through wrong shots from the Sniper. So pretty much says that Shep's High-Rise is pretty bloody good, and so this is the kind of map pick that you would expect as Shep, that you're going to turn this series in your favor. And if that doesn't happen, then it's worrying times ahead.
Yep. And we'll see how this goes as we have LazyBear stepping into the spy first as Red Dress. See how this goes in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And it looks like standard selection.
High-Rise, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think if LazyBear does I know LazyBear does opposition research. He's actually worked with PwnNoob to develop a method of doing it that is successful. One thing to really take away from Sheph's sniper statistics on High-Rise is that he always shoots. And so playing Softail variant High-Rise with Fingerprint, Inspect, Contact, and Seduce on, and actually just not looking to mission complete, looking to frame a target, probably going to win you a handful of spy games against Shep.
All right, well, Ambassador picks up Blue Book, puts it back in. Unfortunately, it's on the side of the map that's a little bit more obvious. Not much is really settled in for the conversation side of the map, which is a bit odd. So there's not much we can do except for pick up a kind of a mild flirt so far. It's a bit unfortunate because, well, okay, so we're not, as we noted before, we're not assigning highlights for statues. Ambassador does grab a statue though, so perhaps we're going to be able to pick up a couple a couple inspects and a fingerprint off that close statue on the other side. And General picks up a fingerprint at Blue Bookcase. Right now, it's almost frustrating to cast these people that don't actually do the reliable highlights, because I want to know what their mind state is about how suspicious, like for example, General is. We're gonna pick up another fingerprint. Sorry, Ambassador's leaving another fingerprint on the other statues as well.
General. Yeah, and General steps into the fingerprintable statue next to the Ambassador and its middle statues. So at this point, if you want to talk about threat level of characters, well, Kane has a inspect, set of inspects, and a fingerprint. General has 3 inspects and a fingerprint, and Red Dress here has a fingerprint as well. There's another fingerprint available very shortly at the Green Bookshelf. This briefcase, I believe, does not have a fingerprint on it anymore. It is actually unfingerprintable, and potentially LazyBear is picking it up to try and run the sniper through the loop here. We'll have to see if Shep is assigning less suspicion for stuff like that. Unfortunately, Red Flirt, but actually this might work out well because General's right over towards the Ambassador. If you didn't see the path, then it's going to be pretty rough. Now we'll be picking up the briefcase as well, potentially, or not. But either way, I do believe this is LazyBear kind of committing to not completing and now waiting to find the perfect opportunity to contact to get a AI shot.
There are so many fingerprints on this. The flip side is there haven't been that many great bug opportunities on Ambassador.
All right. General is getting pretty close to being shot here. Second statue visit means that potentially he didn't finish the 3 inspects. It's a 1 cycle as well. If General steps into conversation with Double Agent, then the contact's great. LazyBear shakes his head. He wants to frame General. General is outside of conversation. This is disastrous. This contact is meaningless. No one could be finished with it. The plan to frame has fallen apart for LazyBear, and with 12 seconds left, there's no window of a mission complete. All you can do is wait and hope that someone gets shot, but unfortunately, there's no reason to find that shot. And for the first time this season, Shep will hold his shot on High-Rise.
Yeah, I was gonna say a General coming into a conversation there, right, would have been fantastic. General was almost too active, so General really, as far as I could tell, couldn't be done with seduction target. That was the big liability, is that we could have been done with fingerprint and we could have been done with inspects, but we couldn't be done with seduce. And so I think that Shep might have been holding a shot on General, even though he'd been suspicious all game, because there's no chance at seduce. So we really needed him to either step into conversation more to viably complete seduce, or step into a conversation with a DA unless we let the frame off.
Yeah, no, that's really unfortunate. Sometimes AIs just don't allow for it. Checker has gone on record saying multiple times that he believes framing AI should be a very viable choice in the game, but it's a shoot for the moon.
Right.
Either you hit or you miss, and if you miss, then it's very difficult to come back.
All right. Anyway, Steph catches or Step. Step catches a Shep catches a little bit of a break here. With that win, AI just being kind and not completing missions for a change. Let's see if Shep can bring it back to a draw here. 3.
Yeah, that was a point for LazyBear. Just your scoreboard is back to front at the moment.
Wait, what now?
For Shep, sorry, a point for Shep.
Yeah, I got it right.
Oh, it's sorry.
Yeah.
Shep was
Lazy,
up. Yeah.
LazyBear was up.
We're
LazyBear
not
was up
even
too.
going into high rise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
LazyBear was up too, and then Shep got that one, so it's bringing it back to within one. So a potential here to bring it back to a tie with the spy win on one of Shep's favorite maps. So this works out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it's unfortunate. That would have been a really good, like, so it looks like the research angle where we had decided not to complete missions, if that indeed was the thing that happened, was a bit unfortunate because there were so many fingerprint opportunities. That was actually one of the times that usually I kind of try to alternate between the frame or the mission completion on high rise as well. And I usually decide that before the game starts, but that was actually a game where there were just so many fingerprints scattered around. It's going to be really hard to track who had been finished. And so a silent game would have been really strong there if they actually went for the finish. And Ambassador is already dropping a couple of fingerprints in this game as well, so I wonder if we'll be taking advantage of that.
Yeah, Shep sees that Pearls here has picked up the briefcase. What he can't see is that Pearls is the suspected double agent. There's a fingerprint on Blue Bookshelf as well. Now, Bling Twin will also look for a difficult print. Shep leaves the conversation, chasing Cowboy over to the window pad here, wanting to try and flirt, but you can't flirt from this range here. And so currently, it looks like we are setting up for a frame of our own, observing the map and hoping we can get something from it.
Yeah, and well, there's another fingerprint on Green Bookcase as well. I didn't even notice this. We left contact off and swap is on. I wonder if LazyBear's noticed this as well. That's really interesting. That's a really bold choice. That is maybe one of the strangest choices I've ever seen on High Rise. Like maybe the mission you want the most on High Rise, maybe except for Seduce, and the mission you want the least on High Rise, arguably, which is Swap. So I'm very curious about what we try to do with this play here.
Yeah, no, and if Shep has intended this, then it makes sense. Now I understand all this movement coming from LazyBear's laser, because he has to continuously look over towards that right side of the map to guard the swap of those two head statues. Shep is eyeing up his seduction target here, looking for our second flirt at the minute 15-second mark. I wonder if we finish fast with this. You know, you finish your flirt, then you get a fingerprint, go to a fingerprintable statue, pick that up, and swap unexpectedly. It's going to be really interesting to see how Shep finishes. Potential bug, doesn't quite connect. It's a little bit too far, and actually LazyBear was staring it down, sees the animation, and finds the shot.
Oh, rough. Another bug catch. I mean, that's an understandable bug to try and take, but Laser was right there. Yeah, see how it looks from the other point of view. Yeah, it was kind of extremely visible.
If Tex had been standing a little bit more towards the center of the conversation, our arm would have been sticking into Tex's model a little bit more. But unfortunately, our arm is angled just enough so that the hand is sticking through the model still. Now, that's actually a pretty decent position to do it, and it's not the most visible, but if Tex had just been a little bit closer, it would have been really fantastic. Now, that said, it was going to fail either way, and if the bug had failed, we were a flirt and 2 missions away from completing with 48 seconds left. So we did have the inspect swap as an option, which is usually not an option on any 3 of 5 on high rise, but it was still going to be that kind of rush, I think, at the end, which would make me a little bit tough.
And the one thing that, like you mentioned, if Tex was closer to the middle of the conversation, then yeah, that's great. But actually, it comes down to Shep being too deep into the conversation as Taft, because if you position a little bit more correctly in conversation towards the outer rim, then you are behind Tex, which is something you want to be, because that's a great position for reverse drive-by bugs. And if you are further back, then you actually connect the drive-by bug as well. So it's there's a bit more planning that needs to go into that decision.
Well, either way, that maintains LazyBear's 2-game lead heading into Courtyard. We'll see. I don't know much about the stats of either player on this map, but either way, LazyBear must feel pretty comfortable here. See how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the stats, I can throw them at you.
That's fine. I'm guessing that we had some spy wins, some mostly sniper wins from both of them. Is my guess.
The stats are actually, Courtyard is a hard map for spies.
Yeah, no.
All right. Anyway,
I'll go deeper into it in a second.
Yep. All right. Here we go. And yep, we'll start off the game now, and we'll get a lovely stat dump in a minute. Here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And before that, I do like the idea that Dowsy just dropped about Ambassador. Before you grab the Ambassador's buck, you must actually correctly do your foreplay. You can't just go straight for it. You have to actually do it ahead of time.
No, that's true. And reverse drive-by bugs or behind-the-back bugs are some of the strongest in the game, but they usually require about 10 to 30 seconds of planning, and in that scenario, Sheph's not quite in position to find it. The stats for Courtyard are interesting because usually people feel very comfortable in this map. As Sniper, it's a map that you feel like you're going to win all of your games. However, both these guys are sitting around 60% when it comes to Sniper win rate, which is actually relatively low for snipers. So it's actually a map that anything could happen. And so this Courtyard chicken game in this series is one that might produce some spy wins.
And we are rushing the flirt as our first priority, which is not uncommon. We don't get the 2 flirt, unfortunately, so we have a little bit of more time left before we do whatever it is we want to do to finish. We do have a pretty good contact opportunity if we want to hop over to the other one. It's a little bit less good now, but it's something that you just have to get done. Now, contact on Courtyard might be the easiest mission in the game. So it's something that you can rely on later, but we step into statues first, and I'm wondering if we're actually going to do something like an actual swap here and try to finish. I don't think we're going to, but it's been a little bit of time since Sniper has checked the statue over here, so it's been a little bit
It's
tempting.
not a bad place. Actually, I would be really tempted, based on Sheph's laser, to have swapped and then just slammed that statue down, because Shep never saw us there until that moment. But instead, we do put it down, and actually we step over to the other statue, which is fingerprintable. Not a bad move there from LazyBear, especially if Shep hasn't tracked the fingerprint correctly. Now there's another fingerprint available on the statue set across from us, and maybe we immediately head on over for that.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much LazyBear has been tracking the fingerprint on it. It looks like we are.
Yeah, of course, as Spy, you can see through the statue column when you're at the statues.
Oh, and we green swap. Was that intentional? That's.
I wonder. It happened before the fingerprint, so I would be tempted to say no.
So we got to flirt here because we want it to be the last mission, certainly.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we got to hop in here really quick because we want to do this so that they kind of a long time. For
we can't get in.
Oh, we can't get in there. Oh, this is
disastrous. We're going to attempt again. Oh, now we can. All right, we get in, but it was very obvious. Here comes the contact. Oh, contact comes through. The stop has happened. Has Shep seen it? I don't think he has. Ambassador's blocking it. 3 seconds on the clock. This might just be a sniper win. It will. Spy, win. And that's LazyBear clutching it out on Courtyard.
That was some rough pathing. What was Shep looking at during all of that?
Well, and we're probably not going to be watching the pathing as much, but there's so much there that... So LazyBear kind of, I want to say, stumbled into a spy victory there, because I don't know if the swap was intentional at that point. I'm guessing they were going for a fingerprint instead of a swap, right? Because all they had to do was fingerprint, seduce, and contact instead of risking the swap. But instead we have the green swap. Then we try to go over for the seduce in the conversation. We can't fit our way in there. We do get in there, and then we contact instead. I'm assuming we were trying to flirt. And so, but because of the layering of that, the contact goes off while the person's sitting at the statue swapping, and we're not paying attention to them instead, and we kind of end up winning anyway.
Yeah, because Shep, as we know, doesn't low light for contacts, meaning chances are he's actually just not looking at anyone outside the conversation, instead looking towards the conversations. And indeed, you see the laser jump over towards Rocker, who's receiving a drink from Toby at the time and anticipating potentially a purloin from that character.
Man, the blocking on that conversation was insane because all we needed was one slot. We didn't even need to be close to Seduction Terrain to finish that. We just needed to get in anywhere.
Yep, Andreas was being very kind there and leaving that spot open. And
also
opening it, yeah.
The way that the laser rotated around to follow the ambassador meant we actually missed pretty much all of LazyBear's struggles to get into that conversation.
That was an unfortunate thing to miss, but good for LazyBear, up 3 now. So
yes,
Shep in a very similar position. The Plastics in the last game needs to pretty much win everything, win all the next games if they want to not deal with tiebreakers. But
that's true.
But it's gonna be another tough one. But hey, it's Courtyard, and as you had pointed out, they both have pretty high, pretty low sniper win rates, which means that the other players have a good chance at winning as spy. So we'll see if that can happen here. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Similar position to Plastics, you mentioned Kletos. Unfortunately for Shep, this series has not looked as contested as Plastics Spy against Turnip Boy. So far, LazyBear has been on top of everything, and it isn't due to Spy mistakes that we're losing per se. It is due to LazyBear's formidable sniper action, and his spy play being on top of Shep. Shep does step in for an early inspect. We pick up a highlight here, Slappy, and you have to feel like Shep is swimming upstream at this point.
Yeah, and I'm wondering in the back of our minds, like we should never do this because we should only be thinking about the game we're playing, but in the back of our minds, being in a deficit and knowing that Terrace would be the final map that we'd have to sweep in order to do that, it's got to be weighing on us. So we can't right now. We need that we can afford one loss and still go to tiebreakers. But if we have one loss, that means we have to sweep Terrace, and that is we don't even want to get into that position. I don't know if that's on that's on Shep's mind at all at this point, because we should be concentrating on what we have to do. But that's looming in the future if we don't get this done now.
And thinking of LazyBear's competitive performance since his loss in Week 10 in the Swiss League. Just before that, he was on a 3-game losing streak, but loses to Magic Doer. Then in this Challenger tournament, a bug attempt. Is it seen by Lazy? Yeah, he kind of rotates around it.
Yeah, that was one where the highlight actually made it a little bit harder to see because it was arm against nothing. So usually when a highlight is really bad for bug attempts is when your highlighted arm sticks through other body parts, like through other low light characters, neutral light characters, all that kind of stuff. But because of the lines that were going on in it, it's actually a little bit hard because it was a bug on the other side, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes.
So it was the not dog side, right? So it was a little bit weird to see. It's hard to tell, It doesn't look like, obviously the shot wasn't taken, but there wasn't much of a reaction, but it was visible, but it wasn't the most visible.
Yeah, I wonder exactly what's going through LazyBear's head here. Green Flirt, mission win countdown started. Shep looking to strike back with a spy win of his own, and does so. 2 seconds remaining, no shot comes through, and let's get a replay of that bug, because you mentioned, Lappy, I think you've hit the nail on the head. The wrong arm bug, meaning that the white background of a highlight is only on ourselves. It's counterintuitive to look for it, and the highlight usually means that we see bugs.
Yep, I mean, it was quite visible for sure, but yeah, it's just if it's not the thing you're paying attention to at the time, or just not expecting it from the wrong arm.
Yeah, because there's a difference between visibility when you're looking at it and visibility if you're not looking for it. So like a common complaint about white test microfilm in my mind is that even if I'm not looking for microfilm, sometimes I'll catch microfilm just because of the peripheral movement. Now that was that bug right there. Clearly, if LazyBear was looking directly at it, you could see it all day. But if you're not looking at it because of the lines and moving around and just how people talk and their idle animations, if you were looking somewhere else, it's not the kind of thing that would grab your attention like a highlight arm sticking through a low light or highlight arm sticking through Ambassador or something like that.
Anyway, Shep stays alive here. That was a pretty good win to take. You never want to be in a situation where you need to sweep, sweep next 4 games in a row. So getting a little bit of breathing room might be helpful to Shep here going into modern.
In a pretty composed spy win on Courtyard.
Yeah.
I want to say that I'm not sure. In my mind, there's the 2 main ways that you finish missions as spy on Courtyard are finishing via contact, seduce, inspect, fingerprint, or bug as the instead of fingerprint. So that's kind of a classic way to do it. I don't actually know the statistics on it, but I'm guessing that those 2. I don't know which one would be more possible, but I'm betting that 1 and 2 are one of those combinations.
Mm.
Right. Anyway, with that, we're moving on to Modern. We have LazyBear as Alice, so a very fast character. Might look to do a rush here. We'll see. Oh, and LazyBear giving us a little bit of a spoiler to note that this is
That's a teaser. That's a teaser.
Not a spoiler. Yeah, no, it's more of just letting us know something is going to go down in this game, and we're not quite sure what yet. And we'll find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, like Kletos mentions, Alice, one of the faster characters and has really good animations. Shep picks Modern here due to the fact that LazyBear has struggled as sniper on it, only shooting correctly 50% of the time. The other 50% is civilian shots. But LazyBear has made up for that relatively due to the fact that he has an 85, 86% win rate as spy. So yeah, you might get a sniper victory against him, a spy victory against him, but chances are you're not going to shoot his spy.
Yeah, it's going to matter all about that pacing, and that does get a little bit easier with Alice. It's not guaranteed. We still have to go around and do stuff. Right now, we're going for the timer flirt, which I'm not sure if I love as an opening on Modern, to be totally honest. I think it's a bit weak. So here's the good part of the opening is, and I hope LazyBear is doing this, is while you're doing timer flirts, you need to be looking around at the rest of the party. And it does look like LazyBear is looking around a little bit, but while you're doing timer flirts, if you're going to wait this out, you might as well figure out everybody who would be a possible suspect on the sniper's view because you're not doing anything else.
Yeah, so the one thing that you get as we hit the second 51% flirt green test from timer flirting like this is that you don't really have to spend any time in conversation circles ever again, and they can kind of slow you down. If we get the contact really early as well, it's a strange choice, but it might actually work out for LazyBear. He's going to split with it. Oh, straight into statues, looking to try and get the lack of the low light that comes through. But remember, Shep doesn't low light during banana breads. It's been his thing the entire season, and in fact, instead of getting a low light, we get the opposite, a highlight for statues.
And we have a highlight with, so we do have so we're 2.5 missions in, so we're basically halfway done, right? But we have mission progress on what I would consider to be the easy missions, the missions that we're pretty much always going to finish without too much difficulty, that being contact, seduce, and inspect. But now we have the highlight, and there's not too many highlights in the game right now. So if we step in for something like a highlight is really bad if you're going to microfilm, for example. A highlight's not very good for purloining, for example. Also, people just in general have not been going to the bar this game. There's not that much that Shep's had to look at besides it. And we are going to step in quickly for the other inspect, and so we're going to be a big suspect the rest of this game if Shep's paying attention.
LazyBear has been hitting a lot of greens this game. Might be tempted to try and swap the stat. That 4th mission completion. Note, we just put it back down. All the options in the world to complete this game, but none of them pretty. LazyBear now has to try and find 2 more missions. Now we step over to the bar, but like you mentioned, Slappy, it's just been a very inactive bar. People are abstaining from alcohol this game. And it seems like for LazyBear, this might not be the place you want to be. Delegate option selected at the minute and 4-second mark. So as long as we delegate in the next 60 seconds, then all's good. The question is, who do you delegate to? Have you been watching the party enough that you can do it to someone who's suspicious that it becomes a 50-50?
Yeah, so if we delegate, we still have the problem where if we delegate, we still have one more mission to do.
There it is. Oh, right next to the ambassador, but we don't bug immediately. There was a delegate to Rocker. Shep potentially just super suspicious of this. Will he see the fade as it happens? It's just gone off. Yep, there's the fade. LazyBear's leaving as it happens. Where are we going? We're going for the bug against the back here, but we miss it. No!
We're too fast.
17 seconds, and now we need to attempt something else. 14 on the clock. LazyBear gulps the drink so he can bug once more. We're going to crash into Taft and attempt it. It connects this time. Head into Red Bookshelf. Shep seemingly not taking a shot. 2 seconds left to make it, and it's not going to come through. LazyBear with the spy win finds match point.
Oh, I'm going to need to see that second bug attempt from the sniper's view.
Yeah, so I'm watching the first one.
First one seemed pretty good. I mean,
yeah, it was a bad path, but actually, the bug itself was not visible, and unfortunately, we were too fast. Like we mentioned this, but like I think Track especially mentioned this a lot in his casting, where you have to kind of curl around if you're a fast character. You have to slow down and find some way to stay in the area, and Alice definitely needs to do that. There's no way she spends enough time on that.
I mean, the second one was quite visible, but I mean, there was a lot of a decent amount of cover and just a lot of other stuff to pay attention to. And it's that maybe like as we've been saying, Sheph's refusal to get lowlights on BB. I mean, in lowlights in general, there are no lowlights aside from the cast members here.
I actually think this game that the lack of lowlights helped us because the split was very good from LazyBear. The one thing that I really don't see spies doing enough is click spamming. It's something that you learn to do in stuff like MOBAs, where you need to shoot abilities out as soon as they become available. So off cooldown, or maybe you're
I do
so
plenty of click spamming.
Clicks. And so if LazyBear had click spam to the right click as he's approaching the ambassador, then he would have 100% bugged the ambassador as he walked past here. Instead, decides to do it far too late. And like you mentioned, fast characters are very unforgiving for stuff like this. But the animations on Alice are really nice. That's the one thing that makes her such a good spy, is her speed and her animations, especially for Bug. And that's kind of why it gets the win there, is because you can't see the animation. It just looks like she's walking.
Yeah, and actually, Zeb mentioned the animation coming to later, LazyBear, and that's one thing I think a few people have mentioned, and I would agree that it would be nice to have like a dedicated bug hotkey, just to so you could just always bug pretty much at any time you want.
Well, dedicated hotkeys in general are something that Checker has said that eventually we'll get, because, for example, stepping into a statue that has a fingerprint, you can spam I for inspect because you want to do that first or whatever. Or if you want to step in, more importantly, you don't need to spam inspect.
That's just one of those soon things.
Swap. Right, exactly. Where if you want to guarantee the swap rather than have to shuffle through. Like, for example, sometimes if you step into a statue you didn't know was fingerprintable, you scroll up to try to swap immediately, but it's fingerprint instead, and then you're not swapping on time and all this kind of stuff, or you swap accidentally if you were expecting a fingerprint, blah, 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 blah. The dedicated keys would be great.
Yep.
Sure.
All right. Yep. Well, and there's a lot of things that this game needs, and it takes time, so we're getting there. Either way, LazyBear, a very good spot. He is on match point here, and he is sniping for the win and sniping to make it into the finals. We'll see if that will happen here. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that LazyBear's spy statistics are bonkers on Modern. Well, the sniper statistics are a little bit underwhelming, and so Shep definitely has the chance to take us to Terrace to attempt a sweep, but he's going to have to play this spy game well. I think he's going to have to purloin to force that civilian shot.
Interesting how far we rotated over and stayed rotated. We might have been expecting a transfer either from Irish or Disney at that point, or maybe we were checking for swaps. So we spent a lot of time over there, which is a little bit interesting.
Potentially just trying to get the statues noted because there was someone there. You have more urgency. necessary that you want to correctly identify them. At this point, though, Shep has not found any mission progress, and almost 60 seconds have surpassed. You don't get much time on the turn to finish 5 missions due to the fact that the mission sites are relatively far away from each other, far away from the conversation circles primarily, making your decision making the most valuable aspect of Spy. Shep's going to choose that delegate option, has till 2 minutes 56, 1 minute 56 to trigger that and have someone go to the bar. It looks like we're chasing Wheels to this window pad to pick up our first flirt as well.
Yeah, and it'd be good to get as many flirts out of the way as we can. As you mentioned before, not being tied down to conversation circles in Modern is amazing for your pacing. Because if you visit conversation circles, you're kind of bound to spend a little bit of time there each time, and they're so far apart from one another relative to other maps. The bouncing between conversation circles is murder. Like, for example, we pop into here, and unless we do something like a fake contact, we're spending time here doing nothing.
Yeah, well, we are going to delegate to Walt Disney here, Mr. A, and he's going to take the guest list for us. 2 minutes left on the clock, and now we're looking for our second flirt. LazyBear, the question is, has he spotted this delegate? Well, we are getting a couple of lowlights, so the potential is there. The ambassador steps through the conversation weirdly. We had a chance to pick up the bug, but we're not going to do it. LazyBear has just noticed the guest list is gone. And here comes the highlights. Here comes the lowlights. Here comes a contact as well. And Shep is going to get lowlit, but immediately brought back up to highlight. LazyBear recognizing that this has to be the case. Unfortunately for us, we're in a conversation with an SDA. Walt, who takes the drink, is in a conversation with a double agent. We are playing this 50-50 game well, but now we rely on Walt to find mission progress.
And we're gonna be sitting in here until we finish up the flirt. It looks like, and right now all we're gonna have done is seduce and purloin. So we kind of need to be playing for the wrong shot at this point because we're gonna have to contact again if we actually want to do the contact. You're also right that we didn't take that bug opportunity. That was weird, where the ambassador went right through the middle of that conversation circle, and it's unfortunate because we're the only highlight that's existing in that circle, and that was a circle full of people that could have all taken advantage of that bug. I would have been a little frustrated as sniper in that position because, like, wow, ambassador just gave a free bug to basically everyone in that conversation circle, and I can't really confirm who it would have been, but because of the assumptions, it limits everyone else.
You'd think
the
so.
timeline.
Yeah, look at this lovely stuff. Instantly low-lighting anyone who could have done it. LazyBear, knowing he's just that close to getting to the finals, is not taking any chances and picks up the lowlights. Only 2 people could have done it. Now's the time for the shot. LazyBear, welcome to the Challenger Single Limb Finals. Yep. You are playing for a promotion.
Almost seemed like kind of I would almost say an early shot, just because, another statue visit would have had to have come off. I mean, it was pretty certain at this point. But still, you can never be too careful.
I mean, the timeout happens.
Yeah.
And I don't believe. Did Salmon check his watch?
Probably not. But I mean, it's just, you can't really be sure of that while you're sniping.
Yeah, Salmon doesn't check the watch, and we definitely see that he's not. In fact, he reads when we notice the time ads, so it's even more chance that he didn't do it. And I think LazyBear was being careful, but it's one of your purloin options has checked the watch and added time.
Then goes to a statue, yeah.
Also, the contact you were in with an SDA, so that mission is credited.
Bug could have gone off earlier.
The bug potential could have gone off. I mean, LazyBear shook his camera when the ambassador happened, realizing too late that that path was coming through. And so wasn't sure a bug had happened, but essentially the camera shake tells you that he has to credit it to some of those people.
Yep. All right. Anyway, it was a correct shot, and LazyBear is going to the finals.
LazyBear saves us from going to Terrace, so thanks to him.
Thank you, LazyBear. We appreciate the save.
It's so rare now to see that it's almost a little bit fun to watch. So I actually can't wait. I just wouldn't want to play it. It's kind of fun and interesting to watch, but
yeah,
I wouldn't want to.
I mean, that was my big surprise, finding Veranos picking Terrace in our set. Like, why are you doing this to me? But
LazyBear's actually in a really strong position.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you look at his success over the last couple of weeks, he's on a 8-game undefeated streak. At this point, has dominated the single elim, dominated his group. His only thing that's turned it from an undefeated to a win streak to an undefeated streak is he tied against Yeesh. And I mean, I would love to tie against Yeesh. He's pretty good at this game.
Yeah, he's all right.
Turnip Boy, he's all right. Yeah, Turnip Boy is actually in a similar position to LazyBear, as he is actually on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8-game winning streak. So they're both pretty damn hot as far as their wins are concerned in competitive play, making tomorrow's finals going to be a pretty good show.
Yeah, that's to clear. I mean, they proved themselves to be the best in challenger, other than the great Dowsey, who's right here.
Hello. I mean, LazyBear had to take down some pretty fantastic competition to do that. He is the only one of the 4 players we casted tonight in the semifinals who started in the first round. Sheph, Plastics, and Turnip Boy, due to their regular season finishes, got a bye into the second round. And LazyBear kind of stormed through that bracket. He knocked out Pofke, who is one of the stronger challenger tournament players. He's knocked out Shep as well. He's really fought his way to get here. Turnip Boy, not to take away from his success, has also had to do so as well. The win against Ink Nun at the end of the regular season of Challenger, wins against Belial, up and comer Frostian, Rio, who has had a pretty deep run after taking out Yerand in the Summer Cup, and Royal Flush as well. It's a huge win, and then Plastics as well. Both these guys have had really tough competition to make it to this point, and so both now with promotion opportunities. Winner of grand finals promotes automatically. Runner up plays Mr. Rogers in a promotion match.
Ooh. Well, good luck with that one, Mr. Rogers. I do not envy your position. All right, and that's it. The finals will be casted tomorrow. I don't know. Have they already happened?
Yeah, essentially we're doing private results. So everyone has done their best to keep the results private.
That is good. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. At I guess 6 must be the usual time.
3 p.m.
Oh, we're doing it early. 3 p.m. Pacific.
11 p.m. UK.
All right, awesome.
You got your two
so
areas.
You can actually, sort of sleep at a normal time.
Yeah,
that is nice. That is nice. All right. Anyway, that is it. Thank you, casters, Dowsey and Slappy Davis.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. All right, and that's it. See y'all tomorrow.